Week 1, two very highly paid quarterbacks, great wide receiver fleets, teams desperately needing a rebound in 2019. Falcons at the Vikings. The Vikings, a decided favorite here, 4.5-point favorites. The market clearly saying that the Vikings are the better team in this matchup.
Yeah, and it's trended more towards the Vikings' way. It started out at 4, now it's 4.5, but there's a little bit of resistance for Atlanta. Atlanta, to back them, you have to bet 115 to win 100. Vikings 105, so there's some resistance here. But right now, the Vikings are viewed as the better team, even more than the 3 points at home field would suggest.
So we could see it move back to 4. That wouldn't be too surprising. 4, 4.5. Either way, the Falcons are the underdog, and I am going to argue on their behalf. And this is an easy argument to make. So many people going into week 1 will look back on last season and think to themselves, how well did this team play? Yep. And for the Falcons, it was really bad.
Not very.
Just awful. And one of the big reasons was their defense just couldn't stop anybody. The 31st ranked defense in terms of expected points added allowed per play. It's the best efficiency metric on a per play basis. But so much of that was because they lost a ton of very good players. Deion Jones in week 1 hurts his knee, he's out. They have multiple injuries in the defensive backfield. And that is one of the reasons that defense is very inconsistent from season to season. It's not a very stable side of football. So I would expect the Falcons to regress towards the mean defensively, as I would the Vikings. The Vikings, a great defense. I would expect them to regress back towards the mean as well. And then the kicker, Matt Ryan, he is the better quarterback compared to Kirk Cousins, and it's not close, and he's getting points. It's disrespectful, quite frankly, to the Dirty Birds that they are underdogs by more than 3.
You're not going to get any argument from me on the Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins side. I will say, though, that the Vikings, as you said, defensively are very good. They were second in EPA allowed in 2017. They were second also in 2018. What that just shows is the league isn't very sensitive to how good defenses are. That being said, on the offensive side of the ball, we're seeing both teams starting new offensive coordinators. The narrative around the Falcons is that Steve Sarkisian was really bad, but he was more average than he was bad. On the Vikings side, though, John DeFilippo was one of the worst in terms of our metrics. He's gone, so that regression you see in Atlanta's defense might be counterbalanced by a regression in the Vikings offense simply by putting in new play callers. Atlanta is really solid offensively in terms of their receivers, but I think the Vikings are a little bit better with that pair that they have in Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. So, even though this is a lot of points to lay where two teams are sort of similarly yoked here, I think Minnesota has a chance to, cover this game much like they did week 1 against an upstart San Francisco team last year.
Well, similarly yoked, maybe as a team, but Julio Jones more yoked than either of those wide receivers in Minnesota. Regardless, should be a very exciting game. For more, head to pff.com, get an elite subscription, follow along with us on Greenline, and look, week 1, it's just around the corner, so be prepared.